Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, and today I'm here to share with you a beautiful autumn bridal bouquet. And thanks to florabundance.com, we have fabulous autumn flowers to work with. As I was planning for this video, I thought, what flowers do I want? So I went on site at florabundance.com and started just picking through. Of course, I had to have roses, and I chose Heart. It's a new rose, incredibly high petal count and greatly ruffled, deep red color, and it goes perfectly then with the spray rose in the red angel. And look how much contrast from the brighter orangey red to the darker blue red. Perfect together. Then of course callas in the flame variety, bringing in that orange, and then wanting to carry on with the orange in the ranuncula, and then going back to the reds with the burgundy ranuncula. Grasses and agonis. It's a wonderful foliage for texture, this deep chocolate color. So many fabulous things. You can see why I got so excited. When creating a hand-tie style bridal bouquet, some materials don't lend themselves to hand tying as well. The viburnum berry, although beautiful, it's kind of droopy and it doesn't really do what you want it to do. See how it's going down and I want it to be up? In that case, you really want to take them, cut them from the master stem, shorten it, and then using a 22 gauge wire, clutch wrap them right at the top so that you're holding the berries all upright. That way when you put it in the bouquet, it'll be lovely. Then go ahead and just tape it down, giving it a stem. And then when you work with the hand tie, you'll actually be working with a wired stem to place it in. It gives you the color right where you want it. Now another stem that's a little bit difficult in a hand tie is the Celosia. It's gorgeous, coxcomb Celosia, fabulous coloration. But look at these stems. Some of them get really, really, really huge. Now it's so heavy and it doesn't lend itself to wiring and taping. So I'm going to show you another trick for these. You'll have to wait in a little bit. I'll show you how you work with the coxcomb. To begin the bouquet, I'm going to start with 2 of the flame callas and then bringing in some of the wonderful grasses, letting them be a little taller, maybe even tucking in one of the berries, adding depth, keeping it low, and then coming back with a rose and tucking it in. And at that point, notice how I put the head to the side and the stem the other direction. It's what I start to do as I create the bouquet. Everything I add, I'll put the head one direction and the stem angled slightly to the side and then turn it just a bit. Then I could do another rose. I could bring in a ranuncula and do them in a couple of layers. So one low and then another over the top, creating depth, then turning again, maybe bringing in a spray rose, tucking it low, and a second one, and turning, maybe another of the heart roses. Then my calla has dropped a bit, so I can just give it a little tug, pull it back up so that I get a little more height in the center, then turning. Got these beautiful rose hips, tucking them in. Again, heads one direction, stem the other, and turning. Maybe another ranuncula. There's such a gorgeous color. And then bringing in the burgundy right with it. And a second of the burgundy, maybe a little lower, almost underneath the rose, giving more movement and turning. Another of the orange. And one more, maybe a little bit lower this time. So you can see when you add up and down, it gives you a fuller look and starts fanning out in a beautiful round. On this side, I want to bring in a few more of the berries, just because they're so grand, that shine. And then the rose hips for the contrast in a matte finish. And then again, turning. Another of the heart roses for substance and fullness. And another ranuncula. And then turning, maybe bringing in a few more of the grasses. And another rose. Maybe even another of the berries, tucking it in. Then turning. And you can see the round form, the textures, the colors, all so fabulous as it binds together. As I add the last materials, I want to look at my color balance, see where I may need to add something. Right here, I want some more of the orange. I'm going to add a little bit more of the orange flame. Maybe do 2 of them, coming out to the side. And then a few more of the grasses, just kind of wiggling them in between, right into there. And then turning. Maybe I need another ranuncula over here. And I look at it from all sides, making sure that it's balanced. Then adding just a tiny bit of the beautiful chocolate. Isn't that gorgeous? Adding texture, creating a little bit of a collar, but I don't want it to be all the way around. I want just a few sprigs. Maybe one more, turning again, double checking my balance. I need another orange right there. Bring it right into here. And maybe one more of the rose hips coming down low with the callas. And then when I'm happy with the balance, using bind wire, holding it with one finger, clipping it off, and then wrapping snugly, binding it all together so it won't shift and turn, then twisting the ends. And then a judgment call is 2 to 3 hand lengths going through and cutting. And I usually leave it a little longer than I need so that I can set it in a vase of water and let it drink till the last minute when I'll ribbon wrap. At this point, I set it in a vase with water, and it can go in the flower cooler and wait for a day or 2 before the wedding without any problem at all. It'll be just as gorgeous when I take it out as when I put it in. Then, the trick with the celosia. This celosia is so fabulous. Florabundance really outdid themselves with the gorgeous. But the stems, it's not going to work. So what you do is cut off just the beautiful part. You want just the head, clean it up, pull it off onto this one as well. Get rid of any of the extra little bits that you don't need. And then using your Oasis floral adhesive, you're actually going to just cold glue these directly into the bouquet. So I put glue on the side of the stem and the side of the stem and the base of the bloom. So you get quite a bit of glue on there. It's not a heavy coverage, but a bit on each side and then the base. Then determine where you want this to be. Maybe you want it to come in between these 2 roses. Just tuck it down in, making sure that the stem goes inside with the rest of the stems and it fills in that color and the texture. Then I might want a little bit over here by my callas. So again, a little bit on the stem, turn it, get the other side of the stem, and then around the edges. And then just divide your blooms and tuck it down in. Last touch, the day of the wedding. You're going to take the bouquet out, dry it off, and then ribbon wrap the handles. For mine, I'm going to use a beautiful brown satin. Yes, burlap is the trend, and I'll add that. But we're getting much more chic and sophisticated, even in our rustic autumn bouquets. So going with the satin for a little bit of glamour, with just a touch of the burlap for the texture. So I take the bouquet and dry it off. And the stems still are going to be longer than I need them because I won't cut them off until after I completely ribbon wrap and finish the bouquet. Then taking my ribbon and just wrapping it around, overlapping, and letting it wrinkle, ruching, getting it to have a little bit of texture and character. It doesn't have to be totally smooth. In fact, totally smooth would be a little bit inappropriate for this particular bouquet. Then coming back up, and then when I get to the end, just tucking it, and then using a glue dot right onto the fabric, and peeling it off and adhering it down, then going back with another glue dot right to the fabric, peeling it off, and then taking the burlap. This time I tuck the end under so I don't have a raw end, over the top, and wrapping. I can tuck, if I've got little ends showing, tuck and grab, overlapping, making sure that I line up the sides and bring it on around, and then I've tucked in the end on this side to make sure that it doesn't have a raw finish. And then going back with 2 more glue dots, one at the top and one at the bottom, and then peel them off and adhere it down. By leaving the stems long, even after ribbon wrapping, I can put it back in a vase of water for delivery and transport so it will last as long as possible. Now you may be wondering about the celosia, how long that's going to last because it's not in water. Celosia dries beautifully, so it's going to last longer than the flowers, even in the water. And you can use that technique of gluing things in for any sturdy, long-lasting flower. If it's something that really needs water, don't do that. It won't work. Then once you've delivered and you're ready for the wedding, all you need to do is take it out, cut it down, leaving just a bit of stem exposed, and it's ready for the bride. A huge thanks to Yost and the team at Florabundance for providing such fabulous flowers. You make it so easy to create beautiful bouquets. Now really all I need is to find an autumn bride. Or maybe I should just get married again. It's beautiful enough. I probably should. Now for more creative inspiration, more bridal bouquets, more arrangements, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you've got questions, need help finding things, don't hesitate to contact me. You can reach me through the website or by telephone at 1-800-819-8089. If it's easier, use my personal email. It's Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. Now it's your turn. Check out the florabundance.com site, see what autumn treasures you can find, have fun, and do something you love.